His fingers stopped tapping, and he looked me in the eyes for the first time. I understand. Good. I presume my assistant Kara already briefed you on the project and showed you around the compound? She did. He looked through the window. I didn't realize how big the ship was until I got here, though. Not big enough, I lamented. This time I joined him in staring at the colossal ship propped on the opposite side of my half-mile-wide compound, away from all the buildings. It tapered like a sideways skyscraper wrapped in bowed metal plates. A carefully selected workforce installed the final layers of radiation shielding for its imminent departure, when the only plasmatic pulse drives ever to be used non-experimentally would allow it to reach Saturn in 2 years. Mr. Drayton was awestruck, but the view made me want to crawl inside a bottle. My gaze first wandered to the pale mark in the blue sky. The asteroid, growing closer every day to becoming a meteorite. Then I looked to the horde of people camped in the desert outside of the compound's 20-foot concrete wall, hoping to earn a spot on board. Armed drones and several dozen security officers kept the desperate mass at bay. Mr. Drayton turned back to me. How many can it hold? Excuse me? The ship. How many people can it hold? 3,000, I said. 406 spots have already been filled by my remaining staff. Individual accomplishments aside, I assure you that they had to meet the same stringent criteria as candidates such as yourself. They're all that remains of Trass Industries. It felt wrong to ask anyone to help me construct the Titan project without guaranteeing them a spot on it. The conditions for selection were simple, at least in that they eliminated more than 99% of humanity. Other than having to bear an appreciable level of expertise in a field that would benefit the New World, the simplest requirement was that every candidate had to be between 18 and 35 years old. They also had to be in optimal physical health and clear of all chronic diseases. Kara administered the physicals, and nobody who failed ever made it through my door. Those who remained untethered by marriage were preferred, since their significant others would have to meet the same conditions. Lastly, anyone with young children was eliminated. There were fears on my research team that an underdeveloped body would be ravaged by the trip through zero-G. I also wasn't keen on taking anybody willing to leave their offspring to die alone. 3,000, Mr. Drayton muttered after a lengthy silence. Yes, I said. No more, no less. Every traveler will be kept in a state-of-the-art hibernation chamber for the duration of the 2-year journey. The low-activity state will allow us to conserve the limited resources we're able to bring until we can establish an operating colony on Titan. It's my job to whittle the list of more than 1 million suitable candidates to that minuscule number. Sneak in one extra, and I might as well invite the mob camped outside of my compound. He glanced nervously back out of the window. Are those really all candidates? He asked. Everyone I passed out there claims to have met with you. Not all of them. You can thank whichever rejected candidate decided to break our non-disclosure agreement and leak what was going on here for that. I had to promise 50 spots on board to some of the finest soldiers in the world in order to keep the project safe. We're lucky we're in the middle of the Arizona desert, otherwise I'd need even more. It wasn't easy getting out here with all of the airlines shut down, that's for sure. It took me a day just to find a gas station that wasn't abandoned or torn apart. Yes, I suppose I was crazy for thinking I could keep the Titan project safe from the widespread doomsday hysteria. Ever since the leak, I couldn't even leave the Trass Industries compound without being hounded or having my life threatened. Rich, poor, it didn't matter. People had begun to realize that the united efforts of governments around the world to divert the asteroid were futile, and that the only way to ensure survival was to leave Earth behind. There were other corporations developing space stations that would orbit our homeworld, or attempting to establish colonies on the moon.